Welcome in, BPL fans. You are tuning into the A League, and this is a semifinal match of our kickoff tournament. It's HD Philly B and the Radiant Rain to walk you through this wonderful match between Zireael and Ametori. This is going to be a fantastic game.
Yeah, I'm definitely excited for this one. If you guys have been watching the stream, we got to see a little bit of that match that was played between the Knight team, but we've moved on here. Zireael versus ametori. This is going to be, like you said, first to two, so not a whole lot of room to make mistakes here in a first to two series.
And Ametori, they're kind of warmed up right now. They just did a best of, or they went all three, right, in this first of two, so they're feeling hot and ready. We saw the stream there. Some people had some adjustments on their what do you call it, the camera, the color, right? We saw that there was some tech from these players here, but let's take a look at the bracket. We find ourselves in the semifinals.
Yeah, this is of course the kickoff tournament, so you're just kind of building the hype for the season here, and looking at how this bracket has been. I mean, you're seeing a lot of 2-0s, but some pretty nice, 2-1s as well going the distance, and this is of course just the beginning, so the competition is just going to get harder from here.
Season 8, it's summertime. You know BPL has all the action for you. And winning this, there's a lot. You get the accolade, right? The banner on your profile. And then you get some influence over how those groups are laid out in League A. So if you want to play with your sister teams or stay away from your rivals, you might have a little bit of sway with Nox, Solomon, and some of the other admin folks who put together those schedules. So a lot riding on this tournament, for sure.
Yeah, really looking forward to getting through these. And of course, it's going to be continuing all weekend long here. So you're going to have this match happening now. There's another match after this one as well. And then more to be seen tomorrow on Sunday. So lots of BPL action here this weekend.
100%. Rain, I love your jersey, by the way. That is such a cool jersey.
Thank you.
Are you rooting for the Canada team right now in the World Cup? I gotta know.
I am not a sports fan.
No!
Go Canada!
Go!
I'm gonna be so honest. I had no idea that Canada had a soccer team that was in the World Cup. I'm so sorry to.
Oh no!
Yay!
Yay!
Talk to me about Overwatch World Cup. I'm all over that.
That's true. Oh, and that's going on. And then, yeah, and the Champions League was also going on too. There's so much action in the Overwatch world. Season 3 is coming out next week as well. So it's a hype time. It's great in this time of year for Overwatch and games in general. Well, I want to take a look at these rosters. Let's see. We got some new bloods and we got some old faces for both of these squads. Let's pull up the rosters and see what we got. If we have them, knock. Okay, we do.
Zireael, we were promised that if we butchered this name that they wouldn't get mad at us, so we're gonna do our best regardless. Akioto and Altair, DPS here. Dabmaster, Inogen on those tank rolls. Sarah Lee, Rose Dog, Silvertall. So like you mentioned, definitely some familiar faces here if you've been around the BPL scene.
Yeah, for sure. Dabmasters, who I'm looking at, a Season 7 Role Star, a BPL vet, have been on a number of teams. And then Silver and Altair, they've been a Season 5, Role Star, as well as in Season 7, too. So lots of great veteranship on this team. And then some new folks like Rose Dog and Inahagen, right? There's just some of the new players. So it's great to see the mix-up for this team. But I want to check out ametori because they have some Rally Rumble winners. And they've got some synergy going on in this squad.
Yeah, absolutely. Frostfire, Esol, Stella Luna, DPS players here, Matt Berger, Tang, Zim, Ziff, Cry, Illuminous. Again, yeah, some really strong players here. I know Cry has been playing in the collegiate scene. I've gotten to see her in the Canadian Collegiate League. So definitely lots of strong contenders in this team.
Yeah, and I'm looking at Illuminous, a well-decorated player, has participated in a ton of BPL things, not just like the regular season stuff, but like the Anna paintball tournament and some of the fun things that we do here at Bad Pachamari. So they're just incredibly involved, and I'm looking to see what this player does when it comes to this kickoff tournament. Sorry.
I love to see a player that's going for the 100% completion rate of BPL.
Yeah.
I have absolute respect to that. Yeah, so definitely going to be a pretty fun series here. And I know we mentioned it already, but being up first to two is a lot of stress, especially starting on a push map here. That was something that I think is really interesting. Everybody does control map #1. So throwing it over to the push map, New Queen Street, the push map that I feel like a lot of players don't really lean heavily into.
Surprising. I actually am a big fan of New Queen Street. Like, if I have to take like a vote on the map choices, if I see that one up there, I like to go for it. And I like that it is pushed first because you get the whole extended time, right? It's 10 minutes, you're fighting all the way through, and that gives these players more time to feel each other out, work together as a squad. Because we just did the auction like a couple days ago, so these teams are new in terms of forming, and that just helps with some of the team fight ability. You go back and forth, and it's one of my favorite game modes. I love to see that robot going back and forth. Pick a direction, please.
I definitely love the unpredictability that can come with these push maps, right? You can see a team that is like far in the lead, you picked up the first checkpoint, but all it takes is like a little bit of a snowball, right? A couple of back-to-back fight wins, and it can turn the tide entirely. So I do really like push map for that instance. You know, it can be a little bit chaotic, but I feel like that adds to the fun.
There you go. Now, Rain, you're from Canada. Is there a New Queen Street? Do you have a New Queen Street in your town, or do you know where one is located? I need to know.
New Queen Street is in Toronto. My town does not have a New Queen Street. Queen Street. Queen Street is a very common name, so Queen Street, yeah, in Toronto, and I think that New Queen Street just being you know, future of Overwatch here, but yeah, it does exist. It's a real place.
That's huge. In America, everything is like MLK Boulevard or Avenue or something like that. So we've got some of that here too, but we've also got some bans, Rain, and it looks like the Diva will not be in this match, and neither is Sojourn. No, it's her hometown. How could you do such a thing?
That they're just letting her actually go out to the coffee shop right now.
There you go.
Yeah, they're just not throwing her into the fight. I'm sure she's still there visiting. Yeah, but at the Diva ban and the Sojourn ban here, I like it. And remembering as well that these bans are not going to be able to happen again for these teams throughout this series. So that Diva ban coming out of the mix right away. She has been kind of a favored tank in certain kind of compositions. That defense matrix still so strong. And then Sojourn, I mean, I do think Sojourn is still in a good place, but I do feel, you know, with the DPS heroes, it's fairly easy to just switch another DPS then that's going to do the same role.
Absolutely, and we saw a lot of Emre in that previous match for ametori. Do you think we'll see the Turkish agent in this one, or you think they'll go maybe for some of the flyers like the Echo, the Pharah, or do something out of bounds, like maybe we'll see Junkrat? I don't know.
Hey, I would love to see something a little quirky here, you know, try and catch people off guard. Do you think that Emre could be an excellent pick here, especially on New Queen Street, where you do have some really nice long sight lines to work with, and some nice little corners to kind of hide around as well? I think that some other of the high mobility characters, I'm thinking like the Freya or the Sierra, definitely could be a really nice option here as well.
Yeah, I like that too. The support line, usually it's pretty open. I feel like they could go with anything and be fine. We've seen a lot of Lucy Kiriko. We've seen some Bridge Ana. Like, we've seen the Jetpack Cat helping out with the Bastion. I want to see that. I haven't casted that yet. I've seen it played, but I haven't been able to cast it. And I'm crossing my fingers, Ray, that we get to see at least one maybe sometime this weekend.
I really hope so as well. I know that some people are a little bit sick of the Castion, but personally, I am a very big fan. I think that it's absolutely hilarious to watch, and I also think that it just really kind of plays into team synergy very well, which could be a really good test here in this kickoff tournament.
That's right. This is all about team building and community. That's what BPL is all about. And so having some of those coordinated plays really puts that friendship to the test. And, you know, I love the cat because I have an orange cat. And so just every time I see the Jetpack Cat, I'm like, that's my cat. I can put her in a little jetpack and see what she does and maybe save the world. But we'll see now as we go into New Queen Street. We are starting it off. I am so hyped to see what these teams select.
Me too, and of course, no Diva, no Sojourn here, so they are going to have to work around it. Looks like you had a pretty good call there. Zireael and Rosedog thinking about the Lucio Kiriko here. On the other side of things, potentially a Mizuki here from Osiren. Definitely have been getting to see a lot more Mizuki playtime. A lot of that comes down to really nailing the chain shots here. So if Innigan sticks on this, Winston could find himself CC'd in some of these fights.
Uh-oh, yeah, the dive. It's going to be great to protect themselves on this Mizuki, but I'm looking at Stella Luna, not because that's an Italian name and I'm an Italian myself, but the Mei is going to help against this Winston as well, right? As soon as they dive in, block him off, make sure he can't retreat, and then, you know, chain him to the ground and take him down. So these teams are posturing over this middle point. Let's see who gets the robot first.
Yeah, and this is very much a meta composition here from ametori. It's a blow up the tank composition, right? It is exactly that. Like, Innigan is just, the plan is to make them have a very bad time.
See, Winston, one of my favorite tanks, they're jumping onto the high ground, utilizing the architecture so fantastically, but this Cassidy is also here to play bodyguard for the backline too, the Tracer hunting for maybe an entry point here, but the robot will go for Zireael first.
A bit of a progress here. And no kills have come through just yet. It's all about finding the positioning here. Everyone playing so safe, but that is a big first pick here for ametori.
Ooh, and they were waiting, the patience, the discipline for ametori, waiting for the right time to strike the scientist down, and now their turn to push the robot forward. They're able to get some better meters on the board. They'll get a ton of progress off of this. And do you think Zireael, do they go for a change here, Rain?
I feel like Anakin is just going to have such a hard time on this Winston. I mean, you're looking at the dive potential targets here for ametori, and it's not looking good here. Yeah. Both of these supports have movement cooldowns, and both of these DPS are going to have that anti-dive capability, not to mention all that poke damage available from the Sigma.
And okay, if your backline is doing this, how do you even coordinate a dive with the Tracer? And Anakin just getting a fist to the face by Stella Luna, and the kill feed littered in red. They are moving this bot.
I am also a big fan of the Winston, but just it's gonna be so hard to play into this. Zireael are going to at least have that override protocol from Akioto to work with, but this checkpoint is going to be picked up by ametori here, so they get those forward spawns, and they have a way better ult economy to work with. So even when Zireael push into this, you're gonna be walking into both those DPS ults and that Kitsune rush from Zimzev.
Yeah, very dangerous indeed, and a face full of rock for Hennigan once again. The overriding protocol may be a touch late to turn the tides of this fight. Was thinking on a little bit of HP. Is the Turkish agent will find one, but will it be enough to turn the tide? Matt Berger is standing tall on top of the robot and will make sure it does not move an inch. Finally, a couple of kills for the blue side go their way. They're moving the bot now.
Yeah, and that's really good value because they did just commit that override protocol in, but everybody from ametori is still benefiting from those forward spawns, and they didn't commit a single ult, so they're walking in with 5 ready to go.
And it's so scary for them. Oh, let's see how they coordinate. Not overspent. So many times we just see everyone press the ultimate button and go forward, but it's the Kitsune rush to start us off. The spirits guiding them to victory. The Suzu to keep the backline alive for now, and now it's the scientist. He can't find any purchase. Has to go back to the drawing board. A Gravitic Flux, that one will whiff, and the Sanctuary dropped, and that's exactly what we didn't want to see. 3 ultimates used.
Yeah, that's a big investment here from ametori. They do end up winning the fight, and at least they hold on to both those DPS ultimates, which will be big for the next fight. However, that Blizzard, it's going to be hard to land onto many players here. So again, it's going to be a focus onto Imogen, who does have that Primal Rage to try and survive through this next engagement.
So maybe they'll find some purchase on the dive, right? Because if they'll get the second life, if you will. We'll see how they approach this. The Tracer getting found out on the flank and getting taken down. Here's the Deadeye from a great angle. Can they find one? It will be in again. This monkey cannot find anything. Unfortunate for the tank once again.
Yeah, and that Deadeye, of course, it just does such a big burst of damage. You don't have time to hit the Q button. You don't get that Primal Rage off. So Zireael holding on to that. There's 4 ults here for them to work with, but they've just been getting picked off one by one. They haven't been able to find the positioning to use them.
To work together. It's a team game after all. The Blizzard not utilized just yet, so no Christmas here in the streets of New Queen Street. But this is a nice off angle from Zim. I've casted them a couple of times before. A great player getting back to the side of their tank, and the teams are just vying for some positioning. It's back and forth and back and forth. Who will fall first? It will be Akioto. The Turkish agent will fall again. The silvering gun of the Cassidy strikes true, and now it's the Winston who will dive in and find his opposite number finally, but a snow globe planted on the point to make sure this bot doesn't go anywhere.
Yeah, and blue team have an opportunity. Zireael, though, don't have the numbers to try and capitalize on that 6 HP, but Frost is still alive here, and ametori still hanging on, trying to get a little bit more progress on this bot.
Rain, Zireael, they used everything. They have no ultimates now, and so how can they defend this oncoming point? Another Deadeye for Frost, and we know how accurate they can be. So a little forward momentum now for the blue side, but they've got a long way to go.
They sure do, and they're going to have to walk into this Kitsune rush of Zimziv. ametori do not want to give up any space on this bot here. Nice little opening pick here from Zireael. They need to make more, though.
They sure do, and getting one pick, that's great, but they need to find a few more. A change from the Lucio over to the Wu Yang. I like this, a touch of extra damage, but can't get through the Sanctuary, and now the Gravitic Flux in tandem will claim two. It's a double kill for the Scientist. This is the Sigma going rampant out here in the streets.
Yeah, absolutely a fantastic use of the ultimates here for ametori, and Dabmaster also notably over on the Symmetra now, so just not necessarily feeling the synergy through Zireael right now. They do still have that Deadeye to work with. Maybe you have the Sim TP to try and get a bit of an angle here on ametori, but Deadeye on the side of Frost as well, so Zireael not going to be able to take this one for free.
Oh my gosh, this Frost guy, they are so accurate. My goodness, shot after shot connecting. Rose Dog could not escape this hammer from the Cowboy, and now onto him they go. They know this is the dangerous man, but the Deadeye in tow is what they're trying to get expended. It is the teleporter that has been leveraged to move the team to and fro. However, the bot is saying pick a direction please for sure, because it's being teeter-tottered back and forth. Frost will fall finally. That's a big pick off for them. They need a little bit more. I'm looking for the ultimates to be expended. Who will strike first? A nice ice wall to delay the advance just a little bit. The Symmetra is working now, Rain.
I love this disengage that ametori keeps doing, though. They still have the forward spawn, so as long as everybody can get out alive, they're going to be able to get another fight towards the middle of the point here. And like you mentioned, ult's ready to go here for Zireael, so ametori want to try to force some of those out before ceding that forward spawn.
Ooh, the Sim is buzzing. I'm hearing the bees out in New Queen Street. That's a great rundown of the tank, bro. I am so bad, says Matt Berger, as he knows he fell to the Sim in the bot. Gaining some momentum here for the team in blue.
Okay, this is big for Zireael because they didn't commit anything into that, but they are down Akioto and that Blizzard been expended here, so it forces out the Primal Rage. See if Innigan can try and find an limb with this, or if it's just for survival.
Looks like it's just for survival, but maybe this Kiriko found out. Ah, the Swift Step. It's always in the toe of the Ninja Warrior for sure. She will retreat now to the rest of her team, and that will force the retreat horn sound for Zireael. That was a good push. They got some meterage, but they need to get more 4 ultimates for this next fight.
Yeah, and importantly also, they did take that forward spawn away now, so this is really a must-win fight because they need to make some progress on this barrier. I like the disengage. You just gotta be ready to go in, and they are not ready to go in.
Oh, they certainly not. Another rock to the noggin there. That's a great shot. The Gravitic Flux flings him up and brings him down. That's a big ultimate from the tank once again, but can he sustain through this fight? The Sanctuary will do just that. It's the bulk of the healing going through, and that's a great use of the ultimate to keep the tank alive, but that is a pretty expensive one for the side in red.
Yeah, and another kill here from Frost to open things up. That Deadeye ready to go for the Cassidy, and this barrier moving forward. That Deadeye essentially zoning here as Innigan forced to move over onto the Reinhardt to try and get a touch.
Oh, can they do it in time? The wall will block him off. Now the Crusader must get in there with the help of the Fox Spirit. The Kitsune is certainly guiding them now. A nice fire strike to try to pick off some members as they retreat, but still the kill feed in red. ametori, they have all the momentum with them. They are on a roll, on fire in this one. They're holding the spawn room doors as well. You feel like it's all said and done. Even a Widowmaker switch to try to do something desperate, and a full-on completion here in Canada.
Yeah, great stuff here from ametori. I mean, they just kept up the aggression, and they had excellent kites out of the engages that Zireael were trying to put together. And I think that, unfortunately for Zireael, that the Winston composition, it was just, they were trying really hard to make it click, but it just wasn't happening. ametori just had their number on every engagement here. So although we saw a couple of fights go the way of Zireael, really did feel like New Queen Street was in the hands of ametori.
Just a touch disjointed on the dive, right? If the Winston and the Tracer are working together, that you can pick off targets. But I did like the switches to the Symmetra, to the Cassidy there at the end, but then maybe a tank to help protect them, maybe go the Reinhardt earlier, match the Sigma, or do something to get some of those characters forward and then allow them to do the damage. But we'll see, right? There's still more left in this one.
Yeah, exactly. This does, of course, mean that ametori are going to be at that match point now. It's a 1-2, so Zireael needs to clap back with a win here, and I do think it's possible. I think that they can kind of try to work with more of a dive composition on some of a different map. I do think that out of all of the Flashpoint, or all of the push maps, I do think that New Queen Street's probably going to be the toughest one to try and run that dive. You just don't have as much high ground to kind of work with, so that composition might work a little bit better for them on one of these next maps.
will go to Flashpoint, and Zireael, they'll have the opportunity to pick the map and also do the first ban. So they have some advantages here. So hopefully they can find something, and this is where that communication comes in. Rain, yes, your new team working together, but you have to communicate and talk about your preferences. Where do we want to go? What characters can I play? What will fit us best? But it comes to Flashpoint, is there a map that you like?
I'm a big Zireael fan. I've always been a you know, it's funny because I remember when they announced that they were going to rework Zireael, which is so long ago now. I was really nervous because I was like, there has never been a map where it has been released and I've immediately loved it. Never. Zireael was that map for me, though. I have loved it, and I love it after the rework as well. I don't think I'm alone in that. I feel like a lot of players do like Zireael. And I'm looking at the map pool, and of course, there's only 3 Flashpoint maps, so they're all going to be on the table here. I feel like Zireael is going to be the best one for dive as well. You know, Atlas has a lot of those really hard corners to work with. New Junk City also, it's really hard to kind of navigate that map on a Winston, so I'm feeling like Zireael has got to be the pick.
Yeah, it was the pick in the previous match, and ametori, they know how to play that map as well, so we will see. I like Zireael too. I was a big fan of New Junk City first, and then the more I played Zireael, I was like, I love the aesthetic, I love the vibe, I love some of the, like, going down into the ruins and then into the gardens. Like, it's such a fluid map. It feels so cohesive, which is a lot of fun. So we'll see. But I also want to see if we have any bans coming through, right? Let's see if there's any adjustments for their team. Maybe a Winston ban is in order for ametori.
Yeah, and I think that Zireael are probably going to be suspecting that. So if I'm them, I'm going for a tank ban. I'm going for a Sigma ban because that's going to take that off of the table, and it's going to protect ban that Winston as well. So I really do think that, yeah, pick Zireael, ban the Sigma. You can play heavy into your dive composition because right now ametori look very, very comfortable on that Sigma comp. They're cycling through the cooldowns really, really well. So the Sigma is just living for extended periods of time. That's really the beauty of kind of this Sigma plus Mei plus the Mizuki and the Kiriko as well. Everybody has the potential to just survive, and as long as your team can do that, you're gonna have a good time.
Right, and that kind of helps if you are a new team, right? You can play individually but also together at the same time with some of those characters that have the self-sustain, self-mobility, etc. But we are going to New Queen Street. From Canada to down under Australia is where we travel to next. Okay, you mentioned the Winston might not be too good for this. We'll see what adjustments they make as we head over to the bans.
Yeah, I think especially as you head into the first point of New Junk City, you know, this is going to be the kind of the brawl point where there's heavy choke points to get in. There's even kind of like the cage around. There's basically no high ground to kind of work with except for unless you want to try and force a fight on point, which nobody really wants to do here. So I am expecting that if we're going to New Junk City, no matter what ban you come through with here, I don't see Zireael playing the dive comp here. So we're going to have to see a pretty big adjustment from them.
For whatever reason, Malga just keeps like popping up into my brain. Is that where what we're gonna do here? I feel like the Malga slop is kind of on the table, but off the table will be the Sigma as predicted.
Yeah, big ban here. I do think that that's very smart. I do think that the Malga could be an option here for sure. Definitely, we're in a time right now where it feels like there are a lot of kind of tanks that you can actually play that are viable, which is maybe, you know, that's kind of refreshing, I think. Tracer going to be off the table as well, so another hero that you know, gonna get a lot of value on these big wide open maps. So that is going to take away from the dive, though. If Zireael did want to somehow try and force it, they're going to have to find another way here. But I don't know, I feel like I'm kind of rooting for the Malga comp.
Yeah, I kind of want to see it too. You know, Malga, Symmetric, Cassidy, it could work, I guess. Let's see what the backline is put together there. The Wuyong was getting in some damage towards the end, but didn't have enough to build up to the title blast and really trying to turn, because that would help with the Winston too, right? Dive, get the blast, bowl everybody over and find some eliminations from there. So I saw the vision, just didn't get the percentage online to work it. So, okay, lots of opportunity, and that's what I love about this league. I love about the state of the game right now. There's so many different ways that you can go with it. We haven't seen that Cat Bastion just yet, though. Maybe it's the time.
It could be. I do think, yeah, New Junk City, it's going to be tough for it, but yeah, not entirely impossible. You know, you'd have to kind of get through the first point on New Junk City and then maybe move on to the ones that are a little bit more open to try and run that Cat Bastion. Just, yeah, you know, you want to have a little bit of skybox to work with, I think.
I do have to say, I think that Amatori's Mei composition is still going to be pretty viable here on New Jump City. Pretty much no matter what point you go to on this map, there is somewhere where you can put up a wall, separate a tank, and Ametori have the opportunity to maybe still run that Mizuki as well. So it's definitely still going to be a tough battle here for Zireael to make sure that their tank stays alive.
Let's say they are running the Mei. How do you counter that? Is that your dive target? Is that someone you try to beat out at range? I mean, what would be the strategy there, Rain?
Yeah, definitely. Range battle is going to fit really nicely here. It's also about baiting a lot of those cooldowns. So having kind of a flanker that can put some pressure onto the main. Now, of course, it's not going to be the Tracer since that's banned out here. But if you have something like a Genji, or even if you have one of your supports, you can send your Kiriko on a bit of an angle here. Try and force out some of those cooldowns from the Mei, because she is a very kind of ability-focused DPS. Yeah, that wall and the ice block, really, really important in her kit to make sure that she can kind of stay alive. So doesn't seem like we are going to be getting the Mei. Instead, looking like a Zarya matchup, which could be pretty fun.
Ooh, sorry. I remember back in the day, I think it was like 2017 or whatever. I was like, you know what? This is a 3-star character. I'm gonna learn. I just played Zarya for like 3 months straight. I fell in love with this character.
Whoa,
I
you just gave me such a flashback.
Rain, I'm old. Don't let the people know.
I totally forgot that there were stars assigned to the difficulty of the hero. Oh, that's wild. I love that.
So yes, the Zarya matchup, I love it too. Let's see how the Russian weightlifters decide to elevate their teams in this one. And as predicted, the Genji is on the board, but no Mei, so we'll see who their flanking target is. We'll have the Reaper of Souls mirror match on this side. We'll see what the shotgun blasts will do in the first pick. Will go the way of the Sojourn. That's probably what was banned out in the first game.
Yeah, making a lot of sense now, I think, here. And Simsif out of the mix. That's so dangerous here for ametori. So this is a fantastic start here for Zireael. Just gotta finish off. Isol will send her back to the spawn. And that's gonna be the first percentage going the way of Zireael here. And I do really like the sticking with the Lucio Kiriko backline. The Juno in the mix here for Osiren, it definitely is very helpful in having that speed ring, but having the aura speed for everybody in the area to work with is just going to give you that little extra edge as, well, Philly, the Mei has made an appearance.
We were waiting for it. So Essel, she is like newer to the BPLs, only played on a few teams here or there, so let's see how she adjusts to a new squad in Season 8. But there's this difference between the Juno and the Lucio in terms of that speed and how players can run each other down. And speaking of being run down, this Zarya is charged up and ready to go. Will find one pick off with the help of the Reaper, but look at the ult percentage here, Rain. This Graviton Surge is just about ready to blow.
Yeah, Dabmaster building this up pretty rapidly here, and with the burst damage that's available from that Reaper, you might not even need the Death Blossom here. So this is going to be a bit of a scramble to the point of ametori do want to try to go for the recontest.
And they will have a chance as they are halted in their tracks. The Graviton Surge connects onto 4, locks them all into place, and they go tumbling over like dominoes, and it will be Vainker to clean them up with those Hellfire shotguns.
I love this from Zireael. All right, they are fighting back here. They want to tie this series up, force that map number 3. It's a good start for them, only committing that Graviton Surge in, and they're going to get the positional advantage here as we head over into Ducks. Now, ametori have Frost over on this Sojourn as well, so you're not going to have that same frontline presence of that Reaper plus Zarya.
Okay, I'm hearing the Kitsunes from both sides. The Helix is crisscross, and so are the Pixels, as all the ultimates fly here. Rain and the kill feed will go in red. It is Matt Berger who is leading the charge. They'll give up the space on the point here, Zireael, and they'll be blocked off. That's exactly what we were looking for. Good fight win for the team in red.
Yeah, love that. It was very expensive. I will say, yeah, you know, both support alts and that grab committed in. They did win it out, though, and they actually got a lot of ults out of Zireael as well. So we're looking at kind of the matchup of the DPS ultimates right here. Akioto with that overclock, you're going to have a little bit more of an advantage going into the Blizzard, because that Blizzard is going to be looking to kind of lock down one specific area. So as long as Akioto can play on a flank here, you should be able to get value.
Ooh, the sneaky snowball. I love when players do that, and it's an icicle lobotomy. A shot to the back of the head takes down Tabmaster, and that was a clean play from this new squad in League A. They'll hold on to the point.
Yeah, I love that from Isol. She pushes aggressively. I think that ametori probably called out that Akioto was on that flank, so you cannot give that Sojourn time to get set up to use that overclock. So even though the overclock comes out, Akioto just doesn't have any targets to shoot at.
Whoa, okay, Frost, maybe a touch overextended there, Frost, and now ametori go into this fight a person down. The flank is great from the Reaper, forces out those cooldowns like you mentioned. That's their primary target. Get rid of this Mei. Now the overtime wick will burn, and so Vayne will make sure the trigger will go their way as they look for another flank.
Alright, the cooldowns are forced out from the Reaper here, and the Zarya so low. Dabmaster getting a touch, but is he going to be able to stay alive? No, he's not.
Uh-oh, that's a bulk of the HP off the board. Rain, what are they to do? And the DPS must do the lifting now. Hopefully they've been trained up by the Russian. We'll see if they can keep the point in their favor. Right now, Matt Berger is dominating the server, looking onto the bridge, getting very close to that Graviton Surge. Might have a chance to let it fly.
Yeah, right now if you're Zireael, I mean, you have to try and match ultimates here if you want to hold on to this point. Already Simsif coming out with that Kitsune Rush. Seems to be like the disengage from Zireael. I like this later rush from Silver Pulse.
Oh, let's see if that is the one that wins them, and the Graviton Surge will make sure they can't utilize it, but Akioto will rip through the battlefield, the rail cannon doing all of the work, and Dabmaster is here to put him 6 feet under.
Yeah, team kill here as Zireael managed to hold on here. And of course, at 99%, ametori just needed to win one fight. And now they are facing a potential map point here as Zireael going to pick up Dux. And we're going to be heading to a third point here on New Junk City. Silvertall's going to get caught in the little rotation there. But a nice trade coming through from Zireael. And they have 4 ultimates to work with on this next one. That grab plus Kitsune Rush from ametori committed into that last point is going to be rough here as we move over to Junkyard. And this is where there is going to be that little bit of high ground to use. So we're going to be keeping an eye on these Sojourns for these overclocks.
Hopefully they're ending it now here, Zireael, as they are putting in the overclock and putting in the work. A Soundberry now committed on top of the Graviton Surge. It's just a treasure trove of ultimates expended in this fight. The Orbital Ray in desperation, but won't keep anybody alive as 2 will fall. That is a point take for Team in Blue.
Yep, gonna start building percentage here once again. And yeah, like you mentioned, Philly, so many ults thrown into that fight. So once again, we're looking at a DPS ult apiece here. This Blizzard from Isol, she's been good at just focusing down Dabmaster. So you're gonna probably look for that.
Oh, that was so close. Just didn't have the HP pool to let the snowball fly. And now with all of their cards on the table, caught in an awkward position is Matt Berger. And in the coffin is now where he lays, following up on the Juno. We haven't talked too much about that character, the Martian. Not a lot of impact.
Yeah, it's just tough. I mean, the Orbital Rays are a very, very good fight win ultimate, but they've been used late in a lot of these fights. And Zireael, because they have that Lucio and you have this consistent speed that's always happening, you just rush past, force a fight off of that Orbital Ray. So ametori's just not really benefiting from the ultimate as much as they could. But they do have that Kitsune Rush, a doorway in perhaps.
Let's see, Snowball now let fly the 6th member onto the battlefield, but they just zoom on out of there. Rose Dog doing everything to keep their team alive. Now counter Kitsune Rush every time. It's been the 2nd from Silvertails, and they are getting all of the value for it. The overtime wick will burn, but not for long as every member down for ametori. We're going to game 3.
And what a decisive New Junk City here from Zireael. They struggled on New Queen Street, but this was their map pick here, and they absolutely made it count. They look so good on this Zarya Reaper composition. And Akioto on the Sojourn, of course, popping off with all of the overclocks, but also just getting so much value in the neutral fight.
Yeah, just the shot after shot there. Look at that, just from the high ground, shooting fish in a barrel of all things, kill after kill. My word, there's a reason they banned the Sojourn in that first match.
Yeah, absolutely. And of course, that Sojourn ban is not going to be out of the picture, or it's out of the picture now. So
yeah,
ametori are going to have to deal with a Sojourn potentially as we head into that decider map number 3.
Rain, I gotta get your opinion. It looks like we've got a bird battle over here. It looks like a little duck, and then maybe is it like a robin or something? I can't tell what the icon is over there for Zireael.
I don't know. Maybe
chat, help us out.
It's okay. I think it's like a bird of prey with these like feathers, like maybe a falcon.
maybe?
Could be. Okay. Maybe it's like the tail looks like a swallow almost a little bit.
I just like don't go outside enough to answer this question. I'm just gonna be so real.
Instead of touching grass, it's got to be like, look at the sky
Looking
or
at the
something.
sky.
I feel like we're old enough that we're gonna start birding soon. I hear
Yeah.
that that's like the next step in life is that you get into birding. So,
Mhm.
you know, we're getting there.
That's right. Well, friends, it's been an ecstatic series so far. It's back and forth, but one more match to decide who moves on to the finals for tomorrow and potentially gets one, the kickoff tournament accolade, and two, a chance to decide some of the divisions and how the teams are laid out. So, Rain, a lot on the line for both of these squads.
Yeah, it definitely is. This is just the beginning of the season, so we have so much more action to get through, and I think that being one of the teams that gets to have a say in that action, that is a really, really big bonus to have. So we are going to be going over to Control for our third and final map of this series, and of course, it is going to be ametori that's going to get to select where we go for that one.
It's gonna be Legion Tower, because I feel like that's where we go all the time, and it's like a running joke between the BPL, the CGL that you and I also cast in, and many other Overwatch leagues. It's just like, that's everybody's favorite. That's just, you can play anything on it, just go to it.
Yes, our producer letting us know that there was one Oasis map pick at one time, so power to the team that selected Oasis. I'm sure that your opponent was very upset. You know, everybody's prepared for Lijiang Tower, and that is kind of a benefit, but also sometimes be a little bit of a con where you're not going to be able to really get the upper hand in terms of, you know, familiarity and practice, because every team is going to be on that map. So it's really just a matter of kind of like going all in, that you trust that your team is more prepared for this map than the other team.
And like we said, these are teams that are just formed, right? Yeah, some of these players have played together on other squads, but you're piecing in new members, new friends, and so you still have to work together. And so going to somewhere comfortable that everyone kind of knows how to play or what composition might be best for you makes sense for Lijiang Tower. Let's just say it's Lijiang Tower, but let's move on to the bans there, Rain. Is you think, like, okay, you can't go for the Sojourn, the Sigma's already out. What do you think they go to next?
Yeah, it is a good question. And it's also really interesting that both of these teams have gone for the same role bans in map number 1 and 2. Usually we see a little bit more, I think, diversity in kind of the roles that get targeted out, especially I'm looking at ametori. The DPS role, I feel like, is so seldom banned unless it is that protect ban, because there's just so many DPS heroes that you can just pop a different one in the composition and you're still going to be able to run it pretty much the same way. So I think that ametori having this map pick, and of course having the ban as well, I would like to see them move away from a DPS ban. I would like to see them move towards maybe a tank ban here. Maybe you don't want to take that Zarya matchup. Definitely looked like Dabmaster was doing a lot of damage on New Junk City. But that being said, if Lijiang Tower could be a Cat Bastion map as well. So if ametori didn't want to play that, could maybe see a Bastion ban.
Hey, very interesting. And yeah, the support role is not one we've touched on too much. And the supports have been great. Don't get me wrong. Great saves, a lot of healing, ultimate usage and stuff. But it just hasn't been like, that's been the deciding factor, where it's just like, we've got to get rid of the Kiriko. But Kiriko is also a very safe ban. Usually if you get rid of the Kiriko, that's fine. But you may want to play it yourself because folks are a lot comfortable on that character to start. But the Lucio, they didn't play it ametori, which means maybe they don't have a Lucio player. So getting that one off the board could be clutch.
And I think that, I kind of mentioned that all of the teams are going to be prepared to play on Lijiang Tower, and so many of the times, it's going to involve a Lucio here. So if you're a team that is comfortable not running the Lucio, getting a Lucio ban on a control map is a really, really big kind of shakeup for your opponent here. So I think that that's a pretty good call out, and I think that running that Mizuki Kiriko on Lijiang Tower definitely is very viable, and then you don't have to be worried about that aura, speed, and heal.
Or farming for sure, and they won't pair it up with the Zarya. She is taken off the board. They took your advice, Rain. You must be in the coaching staff with them, and then it will be the Mei. It was causing some problems, so they take the Ice Queen off the board.
I love both these bans. I think that it's super smart from both of the teams here, liking them kind of taking a page out of the other team's book. You know, we'll ban the tank, you ban the DPS, everything's good. But I do wonder what Zireael is going to show us without that Zarya in the mix, because of course we saw the Winston from them on New Queen Street, and you could potentially try and force it here on Lijiang Tower, but I really don't think that you're gonna have a very good time with it, even with that Mei banned out. So it's going to be pressure on Zireael to try and make an adjustment, I think specifically in their tank line, to get a good match here on Lijiang.
So Lijiang is the pick. We did see the graphic, but I read it in the chat from our producer.
We
of
knew.
course, we have knock
they
on
knew.
wood. That's everybody knew. It was no secret there. But I do have to thank our production staff as always. Rain, we can't be there without them, and so our knock on wood, who's producing the show tonight, and then our plethora of observers. Right, they are here, ready and willing to capture all the action. We've got Thorthea, we've got Riptide, we've got Orange, we've got so many folks that there's too many to mention. So thank you to all of our staff here for the BPL tonight.
Yes, and again, everybody, this is just the beginning, so there is going to be so much more BPL, so many more BPL streams. We do have another match following this one, so even after this, there's more action, and then, of course, Sunday will be the conclusion of the kickoff tournament, so it is a fantastic weekend to spend some time watching BPL.
And not watching the sky or the clouds or birds.
We're not even concerned about birds. We're not.
It is nighttime.
We only care about the pigeons in Overwatch.
That's right. Well, let's see what they go for. It looks like we'll have a sub for Ametori, and it will be Oracle who is in. And now we're out again.
Sorry,
but I did see Lucio.
You're catching me laughing. I'm like, we have 5 observers. This is sick. Like, this is a professional level, honestly, so impressed. But yeah, I guess a bit of a pause here. So I do know that there have been some issues with the servers, specifically in this kind of scrim block, that people have just been like getting kicked randomly from custom games. So I'm hoping that's not what's happened here. But if it is what happened, at least it's at the very beginning. So yeah. There's a lot of chaos.
Yeah, managing a lot of folks over there is knock on wood. They're used to some of that hecticness, but we thank observers, because observers are always hard to find, Rain. Casters just come out of the woodwork, but observers, difficult. We appreciate them.
Yes, 100%. And all right, guess we're back in here. Winston and Dr. Winston.
Oh, so cute. We're seeing the Malga. We were calling for it. We wanted it. Zireael, they're posturing over it. On the flip side, though, we are seeing the tried and true Kiriko Lucio backline.
And, okay, Matt Berger, you had me there. You actually had me. I was like, okay, Doomfist time. But, hey, that Sigma back in the mix here. So ametori are going to go back over onto that Sigma composition. No Mei, so Eco going to be over on the Genji here. And I think that, again, Zireael's going to have to move very quickly on this Malga composition, because that poke damage is going to come in quickly from ametori.
They have to be decisive, Rain. You're absolutely right. Pick a target and go, and they surely did. That's Akioto, who's been cleaved in 2, but it's Vayne who finds a clap back immediately. The substitute put back on the bench. Matt Berger, he's looking like the one that wants to dive in, going right toe-to-toe with the Malga, but the rest of the team is falling around him, and no, they are getting the kills. There we go. The team in red will cap it first.
All right, yeah, good percentage here for ametori, and I think especially where you have the Sigma composition, you want to be kind of playing up around this choke. Yeah, they're going to push all the way up here, so Zireael are going to make that swap, so Akioto over onto the Cassidy. So this is so much frontline presence for Zireael. They really do just need to kind of charge in there, get the damage in. It's going to be kind of a find a target and just get the stomp, the CC, and ready to go.
Nice work from the Reapers, really holding down the flank. I almost thought I heard a Death Blossom, like it's way too early for that, but not for the Gravitic Flux, as 3 go up and 2 go down. The tank will fall, and the Samoan will be back to the gray screen, and that is just free reign for the team in red to run rampant.
It's such a tough matchup to play the Sigma, or play the Malga into the Sigma, because you're really counting on that cardiac overdrive to give you the HP steal to sustain through these fights, and the Sigma is able to, cycle through the shield and then the kinetic grasp, but you're denying so much of that cardiac overdrive.
That's a really good point. Yeah, the grass just absorbs all the bullets and you're not getting the lifesteal, the overhealth, and so that's disastrous. But so too could this Kitsune Rush, as now it's leveraged onto the point, and that is the Stampede boost they need to flip it in their favor. Finally, some percentages go their way, but the battle is not over yet, Rain, as another Kitsune Rush late this time from ametori, but it's exactly what the Doctor or they're the ones rushing in, and so many members low, and it's an Ajax! No, it does connect! A bunch of folks do get the overhealth. I think Rose Dog is the one that got Ajax there, though.
Yeah, unfortunately for Zireael, yeah, they get 20% on the board here, but it is going to be a tough fight back in here. They do have the blender combo here between the Death Blossom and the cage fight, so it's just going to be a matter of trying to get a couple of members in to that cage fight. Isel has that blade ready to go, and that beat now off of the table here, so the blade could be essentially free. You just gotta avoid getting stunned up by that Cassidy.
So that might be a primary target for him, and there is the cage fight, but the Gravitic Flux fought right into it. The blender has been turned on, and it finds some success. A double kill for the Reaper of Souls. They still need to clean up the mess, however, that they made. One more member will do it, but the percent is ticking in their favor. This is just a stall for time. They will finally clean it up and cap it their way.
Yeah, that's a 98% here. ametori, one fight win, and they'll be able to put a point on the board here on Lijiang Tower. They held on to that blade as well, but the Kitsune Rush advantage in the hands of Silvertalls here, so an opportunity for Zireael to hold on a little longer.
Uh-oh, the slice and dice, the sushi master letting the blade fly, but there's no support to it because you don't have any barrier, so you can just get denied and that blade will go awry, but it does force out the Kitsune Rush, a key ultimate no longer available.
It's really important here, but Zireael haven't quite been able to build anything else up. They do get the Dead Eye Unlock, and it's going to be triggered right away, trying to buy time for this percentage to build up.
Ooh, scurrying, hiding for cover. We're ametori. No one gets picked off there. That is clutch. Running for cover for them, but now the charge through, and the sound barrier this time does connect on all 5 members. This is what they need. The Beyblade let rip for the side of Frost. He will claim 1, but will go down to his opposite number, and still sturdy on the point is Zireael. They feel like once they have it, they won't let it go.
Yeah, exactly, and they're doing a good job so far, but 3 ults coming online here for ametori. They just need a quick reset, and then they need to make sure they get this touch in, but Zireael looking for some late kills here, and they just might get it.
Dabmaster swagging on him, got the stomp, and then turned, as soon as the grass came out, Randy turned his sights to the other person and took down the Reaper. That was good, and the boop! No, it's huge!
Whoa, Rostock making up, or Rostock falling off, actually Oracle going to be able to get that double kill, and that's the opening here for ametori to touch the point. There is overtime, but Zireael just not going to be able to make it back.
Rose, the substitute, with a game-saving play, takes down 2, and it's an easy turn of the point. Wow, what a back-and-forth affair.
Absolutely love to see the Lucios popping off on Lijiang Tower. Oracle, yeah, I think she actually built up her ult just from knocking off the Mauga because of how much HP has just gone down into the drain. But all right, good start here. You know, Matt Berger, Sigma with the 1 death here, and we were talking about how back and forth that control center map was, and to only have 1 death. I mean, ametori is doing a really great job disengaging from a lot of these fights.
Glad you mentioned Matt. I mean, they are a pretty decorated person themselves. They're a Snow 23 champion. They've been on a number of different teams. They know how to play, and 10,000 damage in 1 round, Rain? That's insane coming out from the Sigma, not to mention 13,000 in mitigated damage, so really doing a lot for their team. But let's see how they handle it now on this second round of Lijiang. Immediately out of the mech goes Dab Masters, and that's a disastrous start for the team in blue.
Yeah, you're essentially down your tank right now, so Zireael are kind of sticking in this fight, but now you're actually down your tank. A couple of trades come through here. The point's going to open up, though, and ametori are going to have the numbers to get the first flip, most likely. It is Vinker still kind of lurking around on this Reaper, but is going to be able to get out alive there. And, you know, I do like Dabmaster moving over onto the Diva here. I do think that defense matrix is going to maybe help you stay alive. Does he get up? Oh, he made it back up.
Oof. Okay, I thought that was another boop rain.
Yeah.
That would have been nasty. But so was that a deflection right back, and Dab Master almost looking like Kirby right back at you. And the teams will fall left and right, bodies littering the garden floor here on Lijiang. And it will be Vayne who's collected enough souls to stand tall on the point, potentially cap it. But the reinforcements for the red side have come to stay, and they won't give up for the point.
Yeah, and Matt Berger's using that perk from the Sigma very, very well. You gotta float into the air there, so you're able to get in through the window. So really great recontest coming through. Has that gravitic flux to work with here. Kitsune rushes for both teams as Zireael gonna try to use it to cross this bridge.
The Helixes will crisscross once more. There's so much fox power on the map, but who will use it the best? Uh-oh, the Gravitic Flux puts Akioto in the prime position for the Deadeye to find some leverage, and he'll net too. And that's a tidal wave of blue in the kill feed for Zireael. They cap the point.
That is a smart use of the Deadeye from Akioto. Yeah, you basically get the high ground there. Also, a lot of trust in your supports to make sure that you're going to stay alive through that. So Silvertall's making sure that Deadeye did get off in time. So a good amount of percentage here for ametori. And especially they're building up towards this beat. They are leading in that beat ult charge quite a bit here. So they have an opportunity to go in fairly fast, but they're going to be walking into that Death Blossom.
The Deadeye is what I was looking at. Rain is like, is that going to be their win condition for this fight? But it maybe is the lethal support duo who will find a pick. They need to find a little bit more, though. There's still some HP bars left on the point. Matt Berger standing tall, shield grasp, keeping everybody at bay. This D.Va has not found the primary target to take anybody down, and Frost, it's not the Deadeye, it's the Silver Bullets that have hunted a few members down. It's a nice sound barrier from Oracle, seeing the future of victory. Dab Master right in everybody's face, but gets taken off the board. The mech in the drink.
Oh, another great boop coming through from Oracle, and it's going to allow the point flip to come through. A little bit of a stall here. Actually, reinforcements have arrived from Zireael, so they are very much trying to draw this out as much as they can, get that percentage.
And take out the ultimates too if you can. The Gravitic Flux must be applied to win this fight, and still they hold on to it. There's so much speed in terms of this team, and now it's a D.Va bomb on the point. Will not connect onto anybody. They duck and run for cover just in time, and the point will go their way.
Yeah, fantastic stall there coming through from Zireael. Unfortunately, did commit some of their own ultimates into it, so they're not really going to have a massive advantage coming into this fight, especially where Osiren is going to be able to get that Kitsune Rush online very quickly, and Frost has that Deadeye awaiting, so it's just a matter of waiting out that defense matrix from Dab Master.
Right, that's still the same Deadeye from the last fight, right?
Oh my gosh, yeah.
They're still holding on to it, friend, and now they decide to let it fly in this tight corridor. Can they get it charged up? The defense matrix in perfect position, absorbs every bullet, and now Dab Master, the Season 7 Roll Star and BPL veteran, finds the kill on the back of this Kitsune Rush, and will get a double for themselves, make it 3 on the with the Reaper in tow, and that as the overtime wick burns, they'll flip it their way.
All right, just in time here. And once again, it's going to be ametori looking for one more fight win. Not just to win the point, but to win the map and the series here. They're walking into that Deadeye from Akioto, the only ultimate on the board right now, and running out of time as well, so don't really have a chance to build up any of their own ultimates. They need to win in this neutral fight.
The mad scramble to the point, Rain, and this is where it can get tricky for these squads. There's that high noon you were talking about, and it doesn't make any purchase, finds no connection, are the bullets from this revolver, but Akioto knows he just can win it in the neutral. Shot after shot. Is it the Lucio in his crosshairs? It's a Deadeye. Where is it? Who will it connect onto? No one is the answer. It was in that tiny room, a sound barrier from Rose Dog, only onto 2. The overtime wick will burn. They have to throw bodies on the point. Ametori, if they want to try to turn it around, the Death Blossom could be the one that wins the fight, and splattered against the wall is Vayne. That was well done from the Kiriko as we continue to fight onward. Who is even left? It's Matt Berger who will stand on the point. This is the Roll Star who will flip it.
He still had 1 HP, and she lives, and she gets the health pack, and ametori pick up the point. They win Lijiang Tower, and they will be that first to 2 to claim the series here against Zireael.
Oh my word, Rain, what a scrappy fight. It was hard to keep track. There were bodies flying everywhere. What was going on?
This was a really, really good match. Oh, and we get to witness the Ajax. Oh, that's so unfortunate. But
A really great Blossom, and Frost, I mean, Frost looked fantastic on all of the heroes that they played, but yeah, definitely really kind of shining on that Reaper Unleash on tower.
Absolutely. So some great things to be said. And the other thing we didn't really talk about, Rain, for the kickoff tournament is this gives the team something to VOD, right? Oh, let's figure out this, or let's look back about that. Like, did we rotate the right way? Did we scramble onto the point or do our rollouts the right way, or whatever it may be? So this gives them some footage that they can work with to start off the season strong. So I love the way that we do the kickoff tournament here at the BPL. But yeah, ametori, they win it. That was a fun match to have. They move on to the finals.
Yeah, Ducks on top here, so big stuff for ametori. I'm gonna find out that that's actually like a chicken or like, I actually can't even get any of the birds right. But yeah, fantastic map 3 banger here, and yeah, moving on to the finals, massive stuff here for ametori. And again, these are teams that have just come together, and already I'm seeing a lot of synergy between this team and a lot of understanding of the meta and how to run some of these more kind of niche compositions. The Mizuki Mei Sigma comp, it's hard to really kind of nail down. There's a lot of timing that is involved in it, and I think that they did a fantastic job. So I am very excited to see how far these two teams go in Season 8.
Right. Now, Knock, I wonder if we have the bracket available. I would love to show the people where we stand and where ametori, who they're going up against. If we could pull it up, here we go. So Siren Song may be in the future for them, but they have to work through, was that Phantom Verdict? And I don't even know how to say that. Cloud Darius? That's an interesting name. But there's a lot to go through in League A before they get to the finals.
Yeah, so that will be happening tomorrow. As you can see, 9 p.m. is when our A-League finals are going to be happening here. And again, this is the kickoff, so you get a little bit of a bonus here in having a say in how things are going to shape up for Season 8 as well. So all of these teams, building synergy, getting VOD material, and hopefully getting a say in what Season 8 is going to look like for the groups.
Right. Well, folks, as Rain mentioned, there's still more action here for BPL. We've got the League A to conclude, so that will be happening off screen as we'll switch over to a different league. That'll be Free Fall versus Elvish Soul Knife. Okay, that's a cool name. I like that one. So you definitely want to stick around for more matches at the BPL.
Yeah, it's been so fun to get to cast this one with you, Philly, and everybody make sure you stay tuned because, this was a really fun match, and I'm sure the next one is going to be a really great one as well. So I hope that you guys stick around, and maybe I'll see you in chat.
That's right. Well, fans, we'll see you right after this.